Alright, what up guys, we're back at it with some Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind, and this of course is my How to Play Morrowind series, where I teach you guys how to play Morrowind. Anyways, in the last video, I forget what exactly we were doing, we were probably doing some training or something, but anyways, I think we were about to start doing some actual questing here in the Fighters Guild. But I think a good thing to do before we go hopping into any more quests is to kind of go into navigation a little bit, and how exactly to navigate the world of Morrowind, right? Now, for the most part, I'm just going to kind of cover like the major cities and like, you know, the different travel methods, more or less. Obviously, we're here in Balmora. This is one of the major cities. It's my favorite of the major cities, honestly. But Balmora is a pretty simple town. It's just a town divided in half by a river. Basically, the east side of town is going to be pretty much entirely residential. I think there's only one building that isn't a residence, and it's the South Wall Corner Club, which is where you find the Thieves Guild. Other than that, it's literally only residential buildings over here, so you will find just houses on this side of Balmora. And then, of course, the side that we're on right now, the west side of Balmora, is going to be more of like the commerce center. You're going to find all of the shops, really, and most of the clubs, or at least another club. So yeah, you have things like pawnbrokers, you have weapon dealers, you have alchemists, clothing dealers, that sort of thing. You have the Lucky Lockup here, which is a club. You have the Council Club here, which is another club. I mean, you've got bookstores, you've got everything over here. And then most importantly, of course, you have the guilds over here on this side. Of course, the Thieves Guild was over on that side, but you have the main guilds, like the actual more official guilds, right? The Fighters Guild and the Mages Guild are going to be here. As well as in every other major city, you're going to find like a Fighters Guild, a Mages Guild, and a Thieves Guild. You are not going to find one in every city like you would in like Oblivion. Skyrim didn't have the Fighters Guild, that's right. They had like the champions, whatever the fuck they call it, the companions. Kind of stupid, but whatever. But anyways, like in Oblivion, there was like a Fighters Guild and a Mages Guild at, I think, every single city that you could travel to. Whereas in Morrowind, it's literally just the major cities. So you're not going to find it in every city, just like the main cities like Balmora, Vivec, Ald'ruhn, those types of places, right? The other thing you're going to find in the major cities is, well, this is the House Hlaalu. But basically what you're going to find in major cities is the seat of a council house. Or in the case of Vivec, you're going to find all three of them, right? So essentially, you have a major city for each one of the great houses. The major city for House Hlaalu is Balmora, so that's where you're going to find the Hlaalu, you know, council manor, right? And that's also why the guards, of course, wear the what do you call it? Oh, I don't have that anymore, the helmet. But that's why they wear the Armin Ann. That's the Hlaalu version of the armor. If we go to the other major cities, you'll notice that the armor is different. And then you also have a couple like just random manors here. So basically rich people live up here. You also have some nice shops over here. But yeah, Balmora is a pretty easy city. That's probably why it's my favorite. Oh, and then you have the temple here, obviously. But yeah, that's probably why it's my favorite, just because of its simplicity. It's nice and symmetrical. It's like this stuff is on this side, this stuff is on this side. And it's all pretty easy to find. It's all pretty out in the open and pretty obvious, honestly, for the most part. Now, when it comes to traveling in this game, obviously, we've tried a couple of the travel methods. We've used the Stilt Strider, which is going to be one of your main transportation methods, other than, like, magic-based teleportation methods. So, aside from the Stilt Strider, obviously, we have the Mages Guild teleports. And then the other thing you can get, obviously, from Mages Guilds, too, or just mages in general, is spells and scrolls that teleport you. I always forget the so there's Divine Intervention that will basically teleport you to the nearest temple. And then there's Almcivi Intervention, which I forget how that works exactly or where it teleports you. I think it might just teleport you to like a major town. Divine Intervention takes you to the nearest Imperial Cult Shrine. Almcivi Intervention takes you to the nearest cult temple. That makes sense, I guess. But yeah, that's a really nice one because the temples tend to have stuff that cures diseases. I think they just like will heal you in general. But yeah, you can like cure diseases, cure blights, that sort of thing, just any ailments or whatever. So it's a really good type of teleportation to have. Like if you're out there in the wilderness killing shit, I don't know, you get a disease, you get blight disease or something, you're about to die, you just use that Almcivi Intervention, and not only are you in a safe place not dying, but now you can heal your ails, you can get some health, all that type of shit, right? And then the last of the spell teleports, which is probably the best teleport in the game, to be completely honest, is going to be your Mark and Recall teleport. So basically what Mark and Recall allows you to do is mark a very specific point in the map, and the Recall allows you to teleport there later. So you would cast, like let's say I casted my Mark spell here. The Mark spell casting would stay here basically permanently, I believe, until you recast it somewhere else. So anywhere in the world that I cast a Recall spell, it would teleport me to that exact spot. which is extremely handy, by the way, because there are some places that are kind of far out there that they kind of have you going to like very many times during the main quest. I forget what that place is called. It's the like this little island here. I usually have that the mark on here somewhere because it tends to be pretty fucking annoying when they tell you to go here for a quest. So anytime they tell me to go here for a quest, I'm like, oh, mark and recall. But anyways, those are gonna be your spell teleports. And then the last method of teleportation is that there's gonna be boats, which within Vivec you have like boats that will take you to the different cantons of Vivec, which we'll get into. And then in other cities you have boats that will take you to other cities that are like, you know, little water cities, which we may or may not get to there. Anyways, though, the next major city is going to be Ald'ruhn. It's not quite my least favorite of the major cities, but it's, I don't like it as much as Balmora, that's for sure. Ald'ruhn, as well as pretty much any of the cities that are, like, in this, like, Red Mountain region, are going to get, they're going to get ash storms, which are basically like a dust or a sandstorm in this game, and they're extremely fucking annoying. They're audibly annoying, they're visibly annoying. Pretty much everything annoying, really. But yeah, Ald'ruhn is honestly kind of another mostly simple town. It's a little scattered, honestly, as far as like the actual buildings go. They're pretty like well mixed in and just sort of randomly scattered about. There's no like grid pattern or anything like that. It's just like buildings kind of facing any which direction. So it's like maybe slightly convoluted, but it's not like anything too crazy. Yeah, you're gonna have like a general mix, I believe, of houses as well as shops out here. And then within this building here, which they call the Scar, the Underscar, which is basically a giant crab shell thingy. But in here are gonna be even more shops. And then you're also gonna have the seat of the Redoran. That's the one, the Redoran major house, whatever you call it. Council house, that's the one. Yeah, aside from the council house in here, you're gonna have the Morag Tong Guild Hall, which is a weird one. For those who aren't familiar, the Morag Tong in this game is basically the Dark Brotherhood in Oblivion and Skyrim. I mean, they're not the same organization, don't get that confused. I'm just saying, like, what the organizations do. Like, basically being in the Morag Tong in this game is being in the Assassin Guild. Whereas in Oblivion, the Assassin Guild was basically the Dark Brotherhood. They're both kind of Assassin Guilds, but in this game, you also have the Morag Tong, which is like, I guess, like a rival assassin guild. I forget like exactly what their co-relationship is there. Yeah, you'll have that in here. You have the council house, and then you just have like some random like rich people houses, manors or whatever, and some nicer shops. You have like an alchemist and a fine clothier in here, that sort of thing. So basically like more fancier shops, more fancier houses. And then the seat of the council house are going to be in there. But yeah, other than that, you got your temple over there. And then, of course, again, you have clubs and guilds, which in this case, they're actually all right next to each other. So you have the Mages Guild, the Fighters Guild, and then this is the Rat in the Pot, I believe, which is the Thieves Guild. So yeah, it's going to be one of the only cities that actually has all of the guilds right next to each other. So that's nice. Anyways, we're going to go to here, actually, because it makes it easier to teleport to the other major city, which is actually my least favorite of all the major cities. I fucking hate it so much. But yeah, Sadrith Mora / Wolverine Hall is going to be your other major city, which it's my least favorite of the major cities for a lot of reasons. So we're starting out in the Mages Guild here, which is in the Wolverine Hall portion of this place, which somehow is honestly like the most confusing portion of this place. I honestly fucking hate this so much.
Go ahead, stranger.
Good God. Not that. Anyways, the Fighters Guild is in here fucking somewhere. Oh, there's the somewhere. So there's your Fighters Guild. I think possibly there might be a fucking Thieves Guild, like in the basement or something. Couldn't tell you honestly. It's just that confusing of a place. And now we started at this weird back door. I don't even know why there is a back door, but like, thanks for leaving me here. Jesus Christ, get me out of here, dude. This is what I'm saying. This place fucking actually sucks, dude. But anyways, this is kind of a weird town because it's like a halfy town. So this major city is this place is an Imperial stronghold, but it's also a Telvanni stronghold at the same time. I don't really know like what the weird correlation is here. Actually, I think this is the Thieves Guild if I remember correctly. Yeah, that's the Thieves Guild here. But anyways, you have this weird Imperial stronghold here, and then you have the Telvanni part here, but they're more or less part of the same town. So like, this is the Sadrith Mora part, this is the Wolverine Hall part. But if you go to the Sadrith Mora Mages Guild, it takes you to Wolverine Hall. So, make of that what you will, I guess. I don't know, it is pretty fucking confusing. Oh, we never actually looked at the guards in the other place. You know, maybe the shoulders are completely different. Or, I mean, the same, rather. I think it might just be the shields that are different. I think there are different shields and different helmets. Everything else is the same. But anyways, that's going to be the Telvanni version of the guard helmet, which is pretty fucking whack, honestly. I mean, it's kind of cool, but it doesn't, like, fit the armor, so it's kind of whack. But yeah, you have these weird fucking, like, mushroom buildings and shops and stuff. Again, kind of just scattered about. There's no real, like, rhyme or reason to, like, the placing of any of this stuff. So, like, it is what it is. But here's a perfect example, actually, of that last travel type that I was talking about. So here you have, like, these boats or whatever that you can use to travel to the different, like, little water towns. So, like, you see, like, these kind of, like, marshy areas near the coast and over here. There's going to be a lot of towns kind of scattered in those areas. And to get to those areas, you can't actually get to them by Stilt Strider. And since they don't have Mages Guilds either, you cannot get to them via Mages Guild teleport. But you can get there by boat. So all of these little cities you can get by traveling by boat. So that's going to be your boat travel there. Much like the other major cities, you are going to also have your seat of the council house, which is this little fucking mushroom, or it's not little, by the way, this giant mushroom tower in the middle of the city, which for the most part you are going to need a levitate spell to navigate, which is kind of why I really hate the Telvannis, because everything about their fucking city fucking sucks, really. It's like convoluted and annoying. Everything's all like on stilts and facing wrong directions, no rhyme or reason. Everything's mixed together, houses, shops, who gives a fuck. And then you have the fucking seat of the council house and this dumbass fucking little tube fucking tower thing that you have to, like, levitate through half of. It's so fucking annoying. I don't even want to go in it. It's so fucking annoying. Real quick, we're gonna go back to Ald'ruhn real quick. Really, I just wanted to look at their helmets. So yeah, they have, like, the kind of, jihadist looking helmet with the, like, the turban wrapped around it. Basically, oh, and they do have different pauldrons. See, I knew there was, like, a difference there. I don't know why the Hualu and the Telvanni were the same pauldrons, but these guys were different pauldrons for whatever reason. But yeah, that's going to be like your differences between the major cities. Basically, you have one for each of the council houses. And then, of course, lastly, and we're saving the biggest for last, we have the biggest city in Morrowind, which is Vivec. Vivec is going to be unlike all the other cities because it's basically multiple cities within a city. So these giant structures you see here are called cantons, and they're basically their own cities. And like I was saying about the boats earlier, you can travel to the different cantons of Vivec using these boats. So you'll notice that these boats keep you within Vivec, but they take you to the different places in Vivec. So you have like your Telvanni, Hualu, Arena. But then of course that's the other thing you'll notice, that will only take you to 3 of the cantons that are closest. So to travel to a canton other than these, you'll have to travel to one of these and hope you can travel to the other canton from that canton. Now before we get too deep into the explanation, I would like to basically explain the way the whole canton system works, and I'm gonna have to fucking find a way to make this rain go away before I do that. So in Vivec, there's basically 9 cantons. So there's gonna be 7 cantons that look like this. They're gonna be like just normal cantons. But then the last 2 cantons, the temple and the palace, are not gonna look like this. They're gonna be like completely separate, unique structures, right? But basically the way it works is that most of the cantons are made up of 4 tiers. The lowest of the tiers is going to be the Underworks, or basically just the sewer level. The Underworks level is a nest for criminals, rats, and other undesirables, as the Ordinators, which are the guards of Vivec, never actually venture down into there. So the only place in Vivec you won't find Ordinators is going to be in the sewers. So that's nice. Above the Underworks are the Canal Works, where tombs, homeless paupers, storage rooms, and a few small stores can be found. Above the Canal Works are the Wasteworks, filled with stores, clubs, temples, and residences. And then finally, at the top of each canton is a large domed courtyard known as the Plaza. And this is going to have even more shops, which are generally bigger and have better things, and larger manors. And in the case of the Foreign Quarter, you're going to have guilds. So the first of these cantons right here is the entrance to Vivec, and it's also the Foreign Quarter. The Foreign Quarter, as I said, is where you will find the Mages and the Fighters Guild. And you'll also find a corner club containing the Thieves Guild, which I believe is actually on, like, the bottom level, like the Underworks or the Canal Works, possibly. There's also a small Imperial Cult shrine, a tomb, and the majority of the stores that you'll find in Vivec. So if you're trying to go shopping, if you're just looking for like a store or something, the Foreign Quarter is usually where you're going to want to go. There are stores in the other cantons, but the majority of what you find is going to be in the Foreign Quarter. It is also the largest of all the cantons, having 2 wastework levels. So it has a lower wastework as well as an upper wastework, whereas the other ones only have a wastework level. So after the Foreign Quarter, you have a row of 4 cantons. Now, 3 out of these 4 cantons are under control of the 3 great houses. So like I said, each of the great houses also has a main council seat in Vivec. And I forget which one's which, but yeah, you'll have one for like, you know, or that's the Hlaalu one there. The Hlaalu one is the one that has law in it. So if you see the little law scale, that's Hlaalu. So you have like your Hlaalu, I think Redoran here, and I think that's the arena, and then that's Telvanni. Could be wrong on the order there, but that's basically the way it's laid out. So yeah, 3 of them are going to be under control of the Great Houses. Each of these cantons offers stores, services, and lodging for house members. So it's basically like a foreign quarter, but specifically for members of that house. Each of these cantons also has a small individual temple and a large treasury, which contains numerous rare items and a significant stash of gold. However, they're all under the heavy guard of ordinators, so, you know, it's not quite that simple. 4th in this group, like I said, is the arena. And the arena canton holds duels to honorably settle conflicts of interest or guild advancements. So all fights there are special events. There's no routinely arranged fights or tournaments in the arena. So unlike Oblivion, there's no like quest line for it. There's no like actual like arena mini game where you go through rounds of combatants or anything like that. It's used specifically for gaining like the final like master rank. So like I think you do it for all of the guilds actually, the Thieves Guild, the Fighters Guild, and the Mages Guild. Like to reach the master rank, you legit have to duel the guild master at the arena. So that's basically the only time you use the arena in this game. So basically the top level where the plaza would be is where you'll find the arena pit itself, and below that you'll find facilities for training, equipment, and lodging for the arena fighters, as well as just random storage rooms. Now, the next 2 cantons are gonna be your Saint cantons. So these 2 cantons are both gonna be residential ones, and they're named in honor of the 2 saints of the Tribunal Temple, Saint Dellen and Saint Olms. Yeah, this is St. Dellen, that's St. Olms. But anyways, the St. Dellen and St. Olms cantons provide low-cost housing to commoners, as well as some nicer homes for the more affluent up in the plaza. Both of these cantons have stores in their wasteworks, as well as small temples, but again, the foreign quarter is going to have your main shops for the most part. And these here are your ordinators, by the way. These are going to be the strongest guards on Vvardenfell. Once you go to the mainland, there's like a heavy armor version of the ordinator, which by the way, this is a medium armor set. And it's, I think, the best one in the game. It might not be as good as like the Tribunal Guard armor, because there's 2 Tribunal Guards. There's the dudes that wear that like kind of reddish armor, and that's medium armor. And then there's the guys that look like this, but different, and that's heavy armor. But anyways, these guards are pretty damn strong, and they'll fuck you up pretty bad. But they also do have ebony weaponry, which is nice. It's a pretty good thing to sell to the scamp trader if you need money. But with the ordinators, if you wear their helmet, they will attack you on sight because they look at it as some sort of sacred symbol. So keep that in mind. If you're wearing an ordinator helmet, they will attack you on sight. But also keep in mind that it counts as assault on their behalf. So if they attack you on sight because you're wearing a helmet, you can kill them without getting a bounty, which means that you can basically just infinitely collect ordinator armor and the ebony mace that they carry, and basically get like, I don't know, like 20 to 30,000 gold per ordinator that you kill. It's a pretty good way to make money. But anyways, we're getting a little distracted here. After the Saint cantons, we have the Temple canton, which, as I said, is unique in its construction. So the Temple canton is flat atop its canal works. So these are going to be your canal works here, which are devoted to the halls of wisdom and justice, which are these here. We got justice here, wisdom there. And atop these halls is the Cathedral of High Fame, home of the Archcanon of the Temple, Tholer Saryani, as well as many other high-ranking temple members. So if you are doing the temple quests, you will find yourself here quite a bit. Above the temple hovers the Ministry of Truth, which is quite literally a hollowed-out moon, which contains prison cells for the dissidents of the temple. Now, I guess according to lore, Lord Vivec himself stopped the moon from crashing down into the... I don't know if the city was there or not, but basically he stopped the moon from crashing into Vivec or crashing into Vvardenfell, whatever. But yeah, basically it's held there indefinitely somehow via magic. And I guess he told everybody that if they don't pray to him, he'll fucking kill them and drop the moon or something. I don't know exactly what the deal is with that, but yeah, that's a thing. And then last but not least, we have the Palace of Vivec, which is the home of Lord Vivec himself. Now, the palace itself is actually built on 5 layers of sewers, unlike just having normally 1 layer of sewers. However, within the sewers is going to be a shrine known as the Puzzle Canal, so this is how you get into there. And the first time I had to do the Puzzle Canal, I was actually super confused because I did not know that you could actually go in here. I had no fucking clue. So they kept talking about Puzzle Canal, and I'm like, what are you actually fucking talking about right now? Took me quite a bit of time and research to figure out that they were telling me to go here. You almost like definitely couldn't do that on your own. Like that's like one of those things that you have to look up a guide for. You'd never figure it out. That's basically Vivec. I do kind of want to pop into the foreign quarter real quick and just kind of show you guys the rundown of what a canton looks like. And I know this kind of took like the whole video, but I feel like this is a pretty important topic because navigation in this game, while it's not actually as confusing as it seems at first, it can be a pretty frustrating point of contention for new players that especially are used to being able to fast travel to like at least points of interest they've been to before, right? Like, but basically this game can be kind of tedious unless you really understand how travel works in this game and how to utilize the different forms of fast travel. Not just that, but like knowing where to go and what to go to is kind of like important. So knowing like what the major cities are, where they are, how to get to them, that sort of thing is pretty important, especially when it comes to doing quests, because most of the quests will tend to either originate in or take you near or around or in major cities. So it makes sense to kind of get the gist of the major cities in the game and what they're made up of and where to find things in them. But particularly with Vivec, because you will get sent into Vivec for plenty of quests. It's a pretty important one to know how to navigate, both inside and outside. So anyways, here we are at the foreign quarter. Now the way it works, the residential cantons, which I probably should have showed you guys, but the residential cantons, the Dellen and the St. Olms canton, are going to have entrances to residential areas that are down here on this lower level that I'm pointing at. They are going to be the only canton, I believe, that actually has doors you can enter down there. The rest of them are just going to have the ramps that take you up to this level. I mean, obviously the St. Olms and Dellen's canton have the ramps too, but they also have, you know, houses basically is what I'm saying. When you get into one of these cantons, you're going to walk up the ramp, and that's going to be how you get to the lower wasteworks, or I guess the wasteworks for the other cantons. For the foreign quarter at least, the lower wasteworks and the upper wasteworks are both going to be shop areas. This is more of a mild shop area. We'll get to the upper wasteworks soon, but the upper wasteworks is more of like a marketplace type of shop area, like kind of like an open market area. The lower wasteworks is going to be more like closed shops, like behind doors, that type of thing. Anyways, you can get to the canal works from the wasteworks, or I guess the lower wasteworks of the foreign quarter. And the canal works are just going to be this kind of like weird under area. Like I said, there are going to be small shops in the underworks sometimes, or the canal works rather. Like you see here, we got a clothier, we've got a trader. So there's going to be some like sort of small like poor people shops down here, I guess. There's also going to be tombs down here, so be careful with those will get you. And there's also like a little shrine down here, which is kind of weird. And then from the canal works you can travel even further down into the underworks, and the underworks are, like I said, they're literally just the sewers, and you'll find just kind of random people down here. I guess you could call them. Oh, he is a criminal. Oh shit, he's mad. That scared the fuck out of me. I thought he was gonna be somebody I could talk to. Ooh shit, this guy is actually like fucking doing good. I have a fucking Daedric Wakizashi too. This is embarrassing. Oh my god, dude. Calm down, bro. There we go. Blah! Well, there you go. But yeah, that's one of the undesirables you'll find down here. And then, of course, you'll also find, like, rats and shit. So, that sort of thing. And you can also exit to the, like, the water down here from there. I can't remember if these things work as doors, too. No, they don't. So, yeah, you can quite literally just, like, leave the canton from the sewers like that, which is pretty fucking disgusting if you think about it, because it's literally the sewers, but you know, whatever. By the way, you have to be careful when you're doing no-clip in this game if you decide to use it, because it will no-clip everybody else and they'll end up like walking through walls and shit. I've definitely lost a few NPCs doing that before, like they just straight fucking vanish. Anyways though, moving on. So for the foreign quarter at least, you're gonna move up this ramp to the upper wasteworks. For the other cantons, this is literally just going to be the plaza level, but there is an upper wasteworks here on this one. And like I said, this is going to be kind of more of an open shop area. You have people here that are kind of just like in a marketplace with, you know, little tables set up, that sort of thing. And actually, I don't even know if there are individual shops like behind doors here. I don't think there are actually. But if you go down the stairs, you can also get to the lower wasteworks from here. So yeah, these doors take you down here to the lower wasteworks, take you back up to the upper wasteworks. That's kind of nice. And then finally, last but not least, and you will notice we are a little bit taller than these guys. But last but not least, we are going to have the plaza up here on top, which of course, for the foreign quarter at least, we're going to have the Mages Guild. We're also going to have the Fighters Guild. And then I believe we just have smiths up here. Yeah, we have two smiths, actually. We have, I believe, a light armor smith and a heavy armor smith up here. Anyways, though, that's going to be Vivec and how you navigate Vivec. And that's pretty much going to cover like how to travel around most of this game, really. Now, there are going to be some exceptions for the DLC. So the first time you get attacked by the Dark Brotherhood after murdering somebody, it's going to trigger the Tribunal DLC questline. And the way you get there is by going to Ebonheart, which is actually here, was that southwest of Vivec. But basically, once you get attacked by the Dark Brotherhood, it'll prompt you in your journal, I believe, to talk to a guard. So you talk to a guard, they'll say, hey, you've gotten attacked by assassins, blah, 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 blah. Speak to Pels Medius in Ebonheart. Travel all the way to the back end of Ebonheart, where like the main castle area is or whatever. So there's a Pels Medius. You gotta tell him about the Dark Brotherhood. He'll tell you about the mainland, transport to Mournhold, and a CN Rain. And the person who will teleport you there, SCN Rain, is going to be within this building here, which is like, I don't know, I guess like the fort or whatever. I don't know what you would call that. The Grand Council Chambers. But basically, it's this chick here. You talk to her, transport to Mournhold. Here been marked, blah, blah, blah. Goodbye. Oh, I was thinking I would maybe get an option, but no. So she'll teleport you here, and I believe he will teleport you back. Yes. So that's going to be how you transport to the Tribunal DLC portion of the game. Now, how to get to Solstheim is going to be the next part of this. So there's two DLCs, obviously. You have the Tribunal and Solstheim, or Blood Moon DLC, whatever you want to call it. And to get to Blood Moon, you're going to have to find a little town called Kull, Khuul. So we'll go to Ald'ruhn first, since I've actually shown you guys how to get here at the very least. We're gonna, oh, you can get to Kull from here too. So we're just going to go straight to Kull then, why not? Anyways, this is Kull. So you're going to go down to these docks here where this boat is. And there's going to be two people you can talk to. And to be quite frank, only one of them sticks out like a sore thumb. There's this person here who looks pretty fucking normal. And it's not just because they're dark elf, it's the clothes too. And this guy, I believe those are Solstheim specific, or, you know, Blood Moon specific clothes. But he will take you to Solstheim on a boat for 37 gold. Not a bad deal at all. And you land here on Solstheim. And that is going to be, I believe, all of the travel you really need to know about in this game, to be completely honest. Oh, and he'll also take you to Raven Rock, which is where you'll end up building the whole mining company thing or whatever. So that's kind of cool. But yeah, like I said, that's how you travel in Morrowind. That's going to be the gist of getting around and getting to the major places in Morrowind. And knowing all of that is going to make doing quests, especially the main quest and some of the later guild quests, a lot easier. It's not going to be quite as important for like the beginning quests that we're probably going to be getting into here in the next video. But once we start getting deeper into the guild quests, and then especially once we start doing quests for Caius Casades and just the main quest in general, knowing all of what we just went through is going to be extremely, extremely important. So definitely it was a thing worth tackling. And so I'm sorry if it seemed really boring or whatever, but I feel like it's something that kind of had to be done, especially when it comes to Vivec, because Vivec is a really, really confusing place the first time you really encounter it, and it can definitely be a bit overwhelming when you need to try to find a specific thing in a specific place in Vivec and you just don't even know where to start. So that should really, really, really help with Vivec especially. But in general, that should help with just navigating the game. Anyways, though, that's probably enough rambling for now. So anyways, that's it for this video. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like. It definitely helps me out. And if you haven't already, make sure you're subscribed to this channel if you want to check out any more of this content or any of my other gaming content for that matter. And of course, as always, for as little as 99 cents a month, you can become a channel member, help support this channel monetarily, help me pay some bills around here, that sort of thing. Yeah, with that being said, it's been Plock the Master Gamer with some Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.